the real estate market kind of predictions that I see happening for our real estate market in the next year. There is no question that the condo real estate market has been throttled by higher HOA fees because of the milestone surveys and condition requirements after some of the buildings collapsed in Miami. The HOA fees have gone up, insurance has gone up, the condo inventory has more than doubled. So it is, when you look at the single family home and the condo market, you could really truthfully do a completely different analysis because they're so different. So, but what I will say is the influx of condos on the market has made our market look artificially not as great for single family homes. If you take the two of them apart, it's really the condo market that's holding our market back because, again, these higher insurance costs, higher HOA fees, and then, of course, fear that people have over, some of these things continuing to rise, special assessments. All of those things certainly come into play and impact condo values. Supply and demand tells us when the supply rises and demand doesn't rise, prices have to fall. And that's essentially what we've seen in a lot of condo communities where you have a massive influx of inventory and only one or two selling a month. The one or two that are going to sell are going to be the ones that are the absolute best deals. So there's no question we're going to continue to see some of this trail off with the condo market continuing to impact the overall residential real estate market here. However, we continue to see people moving here. We continue to see population growth. And then secondarily, we continue to see kind of a stabilization in our market. The next few months, in my prediction, will be a little bit slower than typical. We're 2 months out from a super polarizing election. So a lot of buyers and sellers are mistakenly sitting on the fence when they should jump in because they can get a better deal. But they're sitting on the fence right now. They're waiting until after the election. So that's going to kind of slow things a little bit. And then there's this prediction that's kind of lingering where rates have dropped quite a bit. Most people expect that they'll drop more. And unfortunately, the positive of that is that as rates drop, it will motivate some consumers to act. However, it will also cause more fence sitting because consumers will say, well, if they're going to drop now and they're going to drop next year, maybe I just let them drop forever. So I think we're going to see kind of a slow end of the year. And then towards the end of the year, after we get past the election, we're going to see things start to pick up with a few rate cuts. And then we'll be back in a really good place. Next year, I think we're going to have a much better real estate market than this year. But I want to caution people that are sitting on the fence right now because they're waiting for rates to drop. I want to remind you, this is my 20th year in real estate. When the rates drop, the prices go up in Florida. It's just going to happen. When our rates get back into if they get back into well into the 5s and even into the 4s next year, we're going to see considerable appreciation. You're going to see bidding wars again. You're going to see people overpaying for homes, just like we saw a few years ago when people would pay $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 over asking and over market because the market had such little inventory and was so competitive. Now, so my prediction, we certainly won't see it as drastic as that because I don't think rates are going to get quite as low. But I do believe some of that will come back and we'll go back to appreciation again. The last few years, we've seen our market prices pretty stable. They've kind of been a little up, they've been a little down, but we haven't seen too much change in our average sale price in Tampa Bay in the last couple of years. I think that changes and we start to see some pretty solid appreciation next year and following. Based on the trends that we've seen with rates. And what happens is if you wait until rates drop, you're going to overpay for the house. So my strong recommendation to people is get your house on the market, sell it now, buy now, because when rates drop, you can refinance. And you'll already have locked in your price at today before all this appreciation starts happening. So I suspect, again, the smart money right now is looking at buying assets and buying real estate because they believe when rates drop, prices will go up because that's what we've always seen historically. And we don't, as I've posted on my socials many times, we don't have the economic situation that we had in the Great Recession. We don't have a massive inventory of homes. We don't have massive defaults. We don't have people in default. We don't have people behind. We have the highest number of people that have paid cash for their home ever. And we have a large portion of our audience that has rates so low that they could easily rent their home and not have to turn into a foreclosure. It's the foreclosures that crush a real estate market. And truthfully, the federal government learned from last time. They're not going to let foreclosures happen the same way again. They've set up a lot of protections. They've done forbearance. They've done all of these things to prevent foreclosure because they know that wrecks their ability to lend, wrecks their balance sheet, and it crushes the real estate market. So they've made a lot of changes. So I suspect next year we will see appreciation again. We will see a more robust real estate market as rates drop. And if you wait until that happens, you might get a great rate, but you're going to overpay for the house that you could buy today and refinance a year down the line and get that same great rate.